Hi children, welcome back. In last video we learned about movements of the earth. In this video we are going to learn a new topic. At first I want to ask one question. Children, do you know why do we have different seasons? Yeah, the reason is revolution of the earth. Now we are going to learn seasons of the earth in detailed manner. As the earth orbits around the sun, the longer days of summer change into the shorter days of winter. This means that the length and temperature of the days change. Here, earth rotates around itself. Not only that, it revolves around the sun. Earth completes one rotation in 24 hours, right? And it takes 365 1/4 days to complete one revolution. Here you might have experience in summer season, the daytime will be more and nighttime will be less. Whereas in winter season, the daytime will be less and nighttime will be more. Now we are going to learn what is the reason behind this. Here, because of the revolution of the earth, the length and temperature of the days change. What is the reason? Revolution of the earth. This causes the seasons spring, summer, autumn and winter. So mainly we have 4 seasons. They are spring, summer, autumn and winter. The axis of the earth is tilted at an angle. This is why when the northern hemisphere is away from the sun, the southern hemisphere is towards it. Here the axis of the earth is tilted, right? Tilted means inclined. That is the reason why if northern hemisphere is away from the sun, then southern hemisphere towards it. Again the southern hemisphere is away from the sun when the northern hemisphere is towards it. If one is away from the sun, other hemisphere is towards it, right? So the season in the northern hemisphere can never be the same as the season in the southern hemisphere. That is the reason why season in the northern hemisphere can never be the same as the season in the southern hemisphere. Look at this slide. Here you can see earth rotates around itself on its axis and it revolves around the sun, right? Here we have sun. How are seasons formed? What happens when the earth goes around the sun? When the North Pole is towards the sun, it is summer in the northern hemisphere. So here, look at this slide. Here we have sun and this is our planet Earth, right? This is an axis, tilted axis. Here we have North Pole and this is a South Pole and this is the equator. The hemisphere which lies above the equator is known as northern hemisphere. The hemisphere which lies below the equator is known as southern hemisphere. Here when the North Pole is towards the sun, it is summer in the northern hemisphere. The days seem to be hotter because the sun's rays fall directly. Here when North Pole is towards the sun, what will happen? The sun's rays fall directly. The sun's rays fall directly. At the North Pole, there is sunlight for most of the day and some part of the evening. Here, if you observe northern hemisphere, you can see most of the day experience daytime and remaining evening. And during this time, the South Pole is turned away from the sun. At this time, the South Pole is turned away from the sun, right? So the sun's rays do not reach the South Pole and there is not much daylight. Here, when North Pole is toward the sun, south pole is away from the sun. At this time, sun's rays do not reach the south pole and there is not much daylight. It is away from the sun, right? That is the reason why sun's rays do not reach the south pole directly, and it's not have much daylight. So it is winter in the southern hemisphere. Next, when the north pole is turned away from the sun. In first condition, north pole is near to the sun. In second condition, north pole is turned away from the sun. Look at this slide. Here you can see this is our planet Earth and this is the sun. Here north pole is turned away from the sun. It is winter in the northern hemisphere. The days are shorter and the sun seems low in the sky. Now north pole is turned away from the sun. So that is the reason why sun's rays do not reach directly. Now it is summer in the southern hemisphere. Why summer in the southern hemisphere? This southern hemisphere near to the sun. So sun rays falls directly, right? That is the reason why it's summer in the southern hemisphere, winter in the northern hemisphere. Look at the region near the equator. Now we are going to discuss about the region near to the equator. This is our equator, and here this part gets almost the same amount of sunlight all the year round. So here if you observe the equator, throughout the year it experiences summer season. It has summer season. Why? Sun rays falls directly. So here it is like summer throughout the year. Days and nights are of about 12 hours each. Here daytime and nighttime will be equal, 12 hours and 12 hours. If the axis of the earth was not tilted, the distance of the south pole and north pole from the sun would have been the same. Just imagine what will happen if the axis of the earth was not tilted, if it is straight. Then the distance between the south pole and north pole from the sun would have been the same. Then both the hemispheres would have received the same amount of heat and light. There would have been no change of seasons. So if our axis was not tilted, then what is going to be happen? The distance between the north pole and south pole from the sun would have been the same. Then both hemispheres receive the same amount of heat of the sun. Then there is no change in the season. Both hemispheres will have same seasons. So we can come to conclusion. What is that? The factors which cause seasons are the tilted axis of the earth and the revolution of the earth. Yeah, children. Now we are going to learn about festivals and the heavenly bodies. Eid is marked with depending on the appearance of the moon. This is because the Islamic calendar is based on the phases of the moon. It means you might have heard Eid festival, right? So this Eid festival depends on the appearance of the moon. In Islamic calendar, they mark depending on the phases of the moon. Not only that, we have many other Indian festivals. Many other Indian festivals too are linked to the movement of the moon, the planets, the sun and the seasons. They are Holi marks the coming of spring, Pongal, Ugadi, Baisakhi and Bihu are linked to the seasons. Holi, the colors of life, right? Most of the children love to play with colors. So this Holi marks the coming of spring. Not only children, even adults will love to play with colors, right? Pongal, Ugadi, Baisakhi and Bihu also linked to the seasons. These Pongal, Baisakhi and Bihu are India's harvest festivals. The days of the week and in the Indian calendar are named after the heavenly bodies. For example, Shanivar means the day of Shani or Saturn, and Somvar means the day of Somar moon. Children, you might have heard Somvar, Mangalvar, Budvar, etc. Right? So these names indicates heavenly bodies. We have planets named, right? Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, etc. So we have given that name to the days of the week. So here Shanivar means the day of Shani or Saturn. Somvar means the day of Somar moon. Look at the slide. Here you can see these people, they are celebrating the Holi festival, and here Eid festival, and here Pongal, right? So many Indian festivals are linked with the movement of heavenly bodies and seasons. Till now, whatever we have learned from the topic, we have few new words. They are seasons, 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 festivals, 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 Islamic, 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 Baisakhi, 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 Ugadi, 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 Bihu, 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 Somvar, SOMVAAR, Somvar, and Shanivar, SHANIVAAR, Shanivar. Here, Shanivar. We have with this topic completed. Thank you, children.